Operating profit increased by 26.24% on quarter-on-quarter basis to 5,076 crores in Q3 for the financial year 22. Net interest income also has increased by 22.8% on quarter-on-quarter basis for Q3 in FY22. Global net interest margin improved by 54 basis points to 2.93 in Q3. Cost to income ratio also has improved by 660 basis points to 51.67% in Q3. Fee-based income increased by 10.2% on quarter-on-quarter basis. Return on equity improved by 7 basis points on quarter-on-quarter basis. Gross NPA ratio improved by 75 bips to 12.88% in December if you compare with September 2021. Net NPA ratio improved by 59 basis points to 4.9% in December 21 when we compare with September 21. Provision coverage ratio excluding TWO improved by 200 basis points to 65.17% compared to September. Our capital adequacy ratio stood at 14.91% as against 13.88 in December 20, as against 15.20 in September 21. The reduction compared to September 21 is mainly attributable to capital allocation we are required to make for the non-amortized amount of the pension liability of the bank because of the recent decision taken. RBI has given the dispensation for amortizing the same over a period of 5 years. However, we have decided to allocate the capital impacting around 38 basis points. Otherwise, our capital adequacy ratio would have been 15.29 rather by December 2021. Retail credit increased by 7.7% year-on-year basis. Agriculture grew by 6.2% year-on-year basis. Msme grew by 4.1% year-on-year basis. Domestic CASA improved by 99 bips year-on-year basis. Savings grew by 8.76% year-on-year basis. CASA grew by 7.59% year-on-year basis. Digital transactions improved by 70% in December 21 from 66%. With respect to business parameters, gross business has grown by 4%, even in deposits as well as roughly in advances as well. The composition of retail RAM has grown up to 54% from 51%. With the credit outlook, what we see is we have seen a good growth in the quarter-on-quarter. If you look at 2.66% from September ending to December ending, which gives us good amount of confidence to grow overall at the end of March 21, anything between 6 to 8% in credit. And we also envisage a target to 23 of roughly anything between 8 to 10%. Capital adequacy, as I have already indicated, is more than required, more than regulatory requirement. We have sufficiency to take care of the future credit growth in the year 22-23 as well. As approved by the board, 6,000 crores capital we have taken from the market by way of 2,000 crores in Tier 2 bonds and 4,000 crores through AT1 bonds already. So at this point of time, we don't have any requirement of capital, which would be looked at in future based on the credit growth. In terms of the priority sector advances, we have achieved all the targets required as per the regulatory position, whether it is related to overall priority sector advances, achievement at 43.75 as against 40%, or agriculture at 18.86 against 18 requirement, small and marginal farmers at 10.26% as against requirement of 9%, weaker sector at 13.99% as against requirement of 11%, and micro enterprises at 8.33% as against requirement of 7.5%. In terms of the profitability, the total income of the bank improved by 3.6% quarter-on-quarter. Operating income improved by 9% on quarter-on-quarter basis. Interest income improved by 7.4% on quarter-on-quarter basis. And expenditure stood at 16,950 crore. Operating expenses declined by 3.3%. Total interest paid registered a decline of 44.1%. Overall, indicating about the efficiency we brought about in the quarter-on-quarter comparison in terms of the profit and loss position. With respect to return on assets, it has improved by 0.34% in Q3, and global cost of deposits also has improved to 3.94% in Q3 from 4.23% year-on-year and 4.0% on quarter-on-quarter. Then yield on advances has improved to 7.11% in Q3. Then business per branch has improved to 180.24 crores in December 21. Gross NPA absolute figure stood at 97,259, reducing from 1 lakh figure at the last September 21. Net NPA also has come down to 33.879 crores, and provision coverage ratio I have already indicated, excluding TWO, including TWO as well, has improved to 81.85%. We have taken good number of initiatives in terms of digitalization, in terms of co-lending as well, tying up with 4 agencies currently, and we are expecting a good amount of growth and traction to come in the next quarter and also in the next financial year. With respect to financial inclusion as well, accounts opened under PMJDY overall as at the end of 31/12/2021 stood at 410.7 lakh in terms of number, and the amount mobilized is 15,464 crores. In terms of digital initiatives, we have launched PNB PA Personal Advisor umbrella application with access to all PNB's digital application of PNB One, M Passbook, PNB Genie, and Beam PNB, etc. Concessional pricing on home loans and vehicle loans to drive growth in digitally originated leads. We have launched a campaign called 6S campaign in the month of October, on 1st of October, and we have seen very good amount of results by December, which we have continued now, extended the same campaign up to 31st March, predominantly concentrating on retail, agriculture, and MSME segment. In terms of the awards received for the bank, received award from Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority under Wondrous Warriors Award and Warriors Award. There are quite a few other awards which are received, which are in the public domain when we have already given the press note. So with this brief, I would be very happy to answer your queries one by one. My only request would be kindly put forth only one question because of the many people who are there in the vertical system, so that the opportunity will come to every one of you. Right. Looking forward.
Thank you, sir. We'll begin now with the question answer session. Anyone who wishes to question may raise his hand by clicking on the raised hand icon on the WebEx panel. We will wait for the queue to line up, and I would request, as requested by MD sir, that the participants should limit their questions to one, at best with a follow-up question of the similar nature. The first question is from the line of Shri Dipankar Kumar from PTI. Please go ahead, Mr. Dipankar, to ask your question.
Sir, morning, sir. Can you hear me? Good morning,
Dipankar. Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning.
Sir, congratulations for the stellar performance.
Thank you.
And as you mentioned that, you have sufficient capital adequacy ratio as of now, which will take care of the future requirement. But I just want to understand what is the thinking of bank with regard to non-core asset sale? How do you want to take it forward? Would you like to wait and watch and wait for more conducive market condition to sell, or what is the thinking going on? And if I may squeeze in one more, with regard to PNB Housing Finance, what is the plan with regard to capital infusion in that, sir?
Regarding non-core assets has two dimensions. One dimension is real estate assets. Second dimension is investment in other companies. There is no change in our approach. Even for the last 1.5 years, 2 years, we have been pursuing for liquidation of or gaining the amount from non-core assets. If you have seen last October 2020, we have sold 3% stake in UTI AMC, where we have earned an amount of 179 to 180 crores. Similarly, in case of real estate assets, we have already sold one of the floors in Bikaji Kama, and a couple of other floors are also in the line. And there are many other assets we have put up for sale. Some of them we have already realized, maybe smaller amounts, 4 crores, 5 crores, 10 crores. So the fundamental principle of the bank, where we have identified the non-core assets in two categories, real estate as well as investment assets, we will move forward to sell them. So during the current year as well, there are a good amount of stakes which we kept for liquidating them, and we are definitely going to gain out of that non-core assets. With respect to PNB Housing Finance, I would like to say that the PNB Housing Finance company will take care of their requirements. We have nothing to add here.
Sir, if you could elaborate on line of non-core asset sale that is planned.
We have investments like I have already given indication to you. UTI mutual fund, we have an investment of 18%, which we brought it down to 15%. So there is still
Right.
a scope for us to monetize that. Similarly, in real estate assets, we have a good amount of requirement. And you are already aware that in case of choice, that is Canada HSBC, Oriental Bank of Commerce Insurance Company, we have already given in the public domain saying that we would like to sell our stake. So that is also in the process. So this will take time. It will not happen overnight, but we are pursuing within the regulatory guidelines to monetize those investments as well. There are a couple of investments in asset reconstruction companies, ARCs as well. That is also in the public domain where we are looking for what you call sale of them. So I expect that many of them would fructify during the year 22-23.
Thank you, sir.
The next question is from the line of KR Srivats from the Hindu Business Line. Please go ahead with the question, Mr. Vats.
Yeah, morning, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Morning, Siva.
Sir, just to take forward Dipankar's question on PNB Housing, PNB Housing Management had recently indicated that they are now looking to go for capital raise, and nature of raise is being planned. So from PNB's perspective, what is going to be your approach to it? If required, will PNB be ready to put in more capital, or will you follow the approach that you had last year of not participating in the capital raise? And second question,
It is, yes,
Sir,
first, it is premature for me to say anything on that. It is a call of the PNB Housing Finance Company. When the things move up at that point of time, we'll take a call.
okay. And sir, secondly, on Q3 performance, if you can help me understand what explains the big jump in 96% jump in Q3 profits, right? What contributed to the increase? And also, if you could give us some guidance on what kind of recoveries are you expecting in Q4 from both NCLT and outside NCLT? And the last point is there any guidance for the entire year when it comes to profitability?
Okay. See, if
Thank
you
you.
look at last time also, in the year ended March 2021, our profit booking was 2,000 crores, which was in line with the guidance given by us in the month of June 2020, just immediately after the pandemic. And we have worked very consciously to ensure that every quarter in the year 2020-21, PNB booked a profit, and by the year end, overall yearly profit was 2,000 crores. Similarly, in the month of June 2021, we had given a guidance for the year 21-22 that our profit could be anything between 4,000 to 5,000 crores. And accordingly, if you have seen, quarter one, quarter two, we have already booked a profit of little over 1,000 crores, both on quarter wise. And this quarter as well, the profit stood at 1127, making it 3,250 plus crores for the 9 months profit. So we are properly in line with the guidance given to you that the profit of the bank at the end of March 2022 would be more than 4,000 crores. Coming to the reason is very simple. It is the average advances growth consistently in the last 1.5 years. We have seen tremendous volatility in credit growth because of the pressure of liquidity available in the market created on the interest rates. As a result, while we were sanctioning good amount of loans even at the corporate segment level, but the disbursements varied from bank to bank even after disbursement because of the interest rate differential. It used to move here and there. Now we have received good amount of stability. We have also created consistent pipeline for the corporate growth. Coming to the growth in retail, agriculture and MSME, it has been muted for some time during the last 1.5 years, but now there as well we have seen better growth as at the end of December. So these are the main reasons. Actually, Credit growth only will drive the business and profitability. Because of the franchise of the brand, we will not be falling short of getting deposits. You must have seen our CASA growth at 8.77%. Term deposits is muted because we wanted it to be controlled. If you have more liquidity, you should have an opportunity for deployment. So now we are seeing good traction in terms of credit growth, not only for PNB, even across the banking industry, because of the improvement in the investment by private people in the current economy. If you recall, even after tax reforms declared as of 1st October 2019 by Government of India, we have not seen much of a new investment by the private sector. On the contrary, they have gone for deleveraging, and whatever IBC through assets they've gained, they've improved their capacity utilization. Now that correction has taken place, we expect that in the year 22-23, it would be much better in terms of the credit growth at the corporate level. And also the budget declared by government in the last year, giving impetus to infrastructure, whether it's a port segment or aviation segment or even road segment, we will see good traction in 22-23. So these are the main reasons why we could do well, and we are very confident of doing well in the going forward, as well as I have already indicated, the credit growth could be anything between 8 to 10% in the next financial year. Now coming to your last question related to recovery, in the Q4, we expect roughly around 1,000 crores from exclusively NCLT and around from non-NCLT around 2,300 crores. Other than that, in smaller accounts, we may get recovery of around 2,000 crores. So overall, we are confident of expecting around 5,000 crores recovery in the last quarter.
So, one small point, can you also let me know how much has been the recovery so far in the first 9 months?
First 9 months recovery we have already given in the booklet. I'll just indicate to you.
So, and one more thing, this guidance of 8 to 10.
Is the recovery overall?
Sorry, sir, how much? Sorry, I missed that.
17,500.
Okay. And sir, the guidance of 8 to 10% credit growth, right? Two things. You feel this is going to be led by retail or corporate? And secondly, is this the highest ever credit growth in the recent years that the bank is looking at?
See, 8 to 10% I was indicating for the next financial year. That is 2022-23. For the current financial year, it could be between 6 to 8%. Why we are confident is, if you have seen the quarter-on-quarter growth in the credit, September to December, it stood at 2.66%, which gives us confidence for the growth up to March, as well as already we have created a pipeline. Now coming to segmental or sector-wise, our bank is big bank to concentrate only on one sector. We would like to see growth in every area. We are looking at an opportunity for every segment, whether it's a large corporate or RAM, that is retail, agriculture and MSME. We are there. We have enough capital with us. We are looking at the opportunity. I am looking at even infrastructure, logistics to grow much better. Even in coming up with a new investment in industry in various areas, we are looking at that to take the opportunity.
And sir, this 8 to 10 is the highest so far in the recent years, right? The projection that you're looking at.
2017-18, if you have seen, the growth has been very good in PNB. It is only in the last 2-3 years that the growth has been muted because of various reasons. COVID, amalgamation and various other reasons. Again, it will come back to normalcy.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is from the line of Mr. Dheeraj Tiwari from Economic Times. Please go ahead with the question, sir.
Hi, sir. Good morning. My question is, sir, where do we stand on the NARCL as of now? It's almost a year, and Punjab National Bank was among the first bank to take stake in the NARCL. Why it is not happening, and will PNB be looking to offload some of its bad loan to NARCL at some point of time?
Definitely. See, one is NARCL. We are one of the promoter contributors along with various other banks in the lines of the anticipation and expectation from Government of India. And we have already identified the accounts as well for transfer to NARCL. NARCL also has started, it has already requested RBI for permission, and other formalities they have completed. So why it is delayed is the question which probably I will not be able to reply properly, because we are waiting for the clearance in totality from the regulator. Once it comes, it will start.
Okay. And sir, another thing, will you be reaching out to the RBI in terms of some extension in under the parameters of the Kamath committee report because of the current ongoing situation, or do you think it is not required at all?
No, it is difficult to say that it is not required. The fundamental point is already RBI has extended good amount of time, and accordingly we have covered the advances. Particularly under Kamath committee, these are all related to higher outlay advances. In terms of MSME and retail, it was a OTR first declared in 9th of August 2020 and second time in the month of May 2021. In which case, recently you must have seen in the public domain that IBA has represented to RBI. We avoid any decision from Reserve Bank of India.
Thank you, sir.
The next question is from the line of Mr. Nikunj Overi from Business Standard. Please go ahead with your question, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Wanted to ask you, sir, you had also anticipated significant recoveries from NARCL, and now, sir, we've seen this delay. So, like, what has been what recoveries have been delayed because of this delay in setting up of the government sponsored bad bank or NARCL? And secondly, sir, there's been your provisions and have dropped for the quarter, although there's not a substantial decline in your NPAs. So what is the reason for that, sir? Thank you.
First, NARCL, the recovery in NARCL is not going to impact the balance sheet. Only the impact will be on P&L, because all the assets are majority provided 100%. So, and they are technically written off. They will not have any bearing on the balance sheet, except that P&L will be enhanced with the amount of recovery of 15% of the extraction. If you remember, even when the discussions have taken place, if 100 rupees is the amount transferred, the extraction is expected to be anything between 18 to 20%, and 15% of that is the cash component. Remaining 85% will be the SR. So as a result, if you look at, the impact is only related to profit and loss, not on the balance sheet in terms of NPA or in terms of the credit outstanding. Now the other question related to you is, what is the other question you asked? Provision. Provision, if you look at, the provision in December is quarter on quarter, if you compare, it has increased from September. Year on year, obviously it has decreased, because last time the provisions were little more in terms of creating towards bigger accounts in December 2020. Now we don't have any corporate book which is going to give us any problem in the days to come. However, we have increased our provision even in case of one of the accounts, group accounts, which became NPA in the last quarter after the NCLT has cleared the case on that. Even in that account, though there is no requirement, we have increased the provisioning in order to strengthen the balance sheet. So, with respect to provision coverage ratio, there is an improvement. In terms of gross NPA, if you are comparing year on year, you may not find the difference. In fact, gross NPA year on year also has decreased. Net NPA only has not decreased. But comparison would be much better if you are doing it quarter on quarter, because last year you are aware that 9 months of NPA identification has happened in the month of March. Prior to March, in December, the NPA was not identified because of Supreme Court judgment. And 25,000 crores was the fresh addition, fresh slippage in March 21, which has come down drastically, successively in every quarter during the current financial year. So there has been an improvement in asset quality, collections, and recoveries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The next question is from the line of Ms. Siddhi Nayak from Newsrise. Please go ahead with the question, ma'am.
Hi, so congratulations on the results. I just wanted to ask you about the guidance on asset quality, that is gross NPA and net NPA for this FI, and what are you comfortable on that guidance? What makes you comfortable? That's one. And second is, what would be the outlook on margins? Any number if you could give? Thanks.
Madam, if you look at our credit growth stood at almost 4% year on year and sequential, that is quarter on quarter growth at 2.66%. We have done better in this quarter ended December 2021 in terms of the credit growth because we maintained a good amount of pipeline in sanctions. This is in spite of the fact that in the last week of December, we have received more than 4,000 crores of recovery in standard advances, particularly the Air India, because of the Air India shift. In spite of that, our growth has been 2.66 quarter on quarter, 4% year on year. So we are very confident of showing a growth between 6 to 8% by March. Now, with respect to the what is the other point?
NPA and net NPA targets that you.
NPA target 12.88 is the gross at December. At a conservative level, we are confident of getting it below 12% by March 2022. Net target is 4.9. We shall be definitely below 4.5% by March 22. That we are targeting because we are expecting recovery overall, including NCLT, non-NCLT, and smaller accounts to the extent of 5,000 crores during the current quarter. And in the next quarter as well, as we do not have many of the accounts on the corporate segment, which would become NPA, it is only a matter of control in collections and asset quality in terms of the RAM segment, so which we are confident during the next financial year. Credit growth will define the percentages as well to greater extent, which we are confident in the next financial year.
Sir, on margins as well, net interest margin.
Net interest margin, if you have seen 2.92 for the quarter, 3, and overall for the 9 months it stood at 2.68. Globally, domestic 2.75. We are very confident of maintaining between 2.75 to 2.8 overall for the year ended March 2022.
Yeah, thanks. So thanks. That's mine.
The next question is from the line of Mr. Shailesh Yadav from ANI. Please go ahead with the question, sir.
सर मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि सर इस क्वार्टर में लोन्स की परफॉर्मेंस कैसी रही है, हाउसिंग लोन, कार लोन, पर्सनल लोन, या किसी तरह का ये थर्ड वेव का इम्पैक्ट इस पे पड़ा है क्या?
नहीं, पड़ा नहीं है। हमने देखिए जो प्रेस नोट में दिया हुआ है, हाउसिंग लोन हैज ग्रोन बाय 7% रफली, व्हीकल लोन 23% से ज्यादा ग्रोथ हुई है, और मॉर्गेज लोन मतलब इवन गोल्ड लोन में भी ग्रोथ अच्छी तरफ हुई है। तो इस साल इस क्वार्टर में पर्टिकुलरली जैसा मैंने कहा है 2.66% क्वार्टर ऑन क्वार्टर और ईयर 4% जो ग्रोथ हुआ है, मेजॉरिटी ग्रोथ हमें मिली है रैम में। रैम का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन पहले 51% हुआ करता था, अभी 54% तक आई है। हालांकि कॉर्पोरेट में भी हमने अच्छी तरफ सैंक्शंस की है, लेकिन आउटस्टैंडिंग के तौर पर आपको दिखाई नहीं दे रही, इसलिए कि आखिरी मोमेंट में जैसे मैंने कहा एयर इंडिया में हमें 4,000 करोड़ की रिकवरी मिली है, जिसके वजह से आउटस्टैंडिंग लेवल पे कम हुई है। हमने अच्छी तरफ पाइपलाइन मेंटेन की है कॉर्पोरेट क्रेडिट की ग्रोथ में भी। उसी के बदौलत हम कॉन्फिडेंट है कि पूरी साल में 21-22 में क्रेडिट ग्रोथ 6% के दरमियान रह सकती है, और अगले साल में भी 8% के दरमियान हम उम्मीद कर रहे हैं।
सर एयर इंडिया में अभी कितनी आपकी रिकवरी बाकी रहती है? जैसे आपने बताया 4,000 करोड़ की हो गई,
पूरा आ गया
क्लोज हो गया। और सर इंटरेस्ट रेट में किस तरह का देखते हैं आप? आगे क्या गाइडेंस रहेगा, यहीं पे रहेगा, बढ़ेगा या कम होगा?
नहीं, थोड़ी बढ़ोतरी होगी क्योंकि इंटरेस्ट रेट्स का तो लोअर लेवल में हम अचीव कर चुके हैं। मेन रीजन यही था कि ज्यादा लिक्विडिटी अवेलेबल होने की वजह से सिस्टम में आपको इंटरेस्ट रेट्स के ऊपर प्रेशर आया था, लोन इंटरेस्ट रेट्स का। जितना लोन इंटरेस्ट रेट घटी है उतना लेवल पे डिपॉजिट के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट रेट घटा नहीं है, इसलिए मार्जिन्स में भी प्रेशर मिला बैंक्स को इस 2 साल के दरमियान, 1.5 साल के दरमियान। आगे चलकर देखेंगे, आरबीआई ने ऑलरेडी लिक्विडिटी को सख्त करना मतलब निकालना शुरुआत की है, जिसके वजह से थोड़ा फर्म अप हुई है रेट्स। भविष्य में थोड़ा इंक्रीज होंगे रेट्स, बट ज्यादा नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि इकोनॉमी में ग्रोथ इंपॉर्टेंट है गवर्नमेंट के लिए, आरबीआई के लिए। उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए आरबीआई भी कंट्रोल करेगी अपनी अदर वो मतलब ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशंस के माध्यम से, और जो पॉलिसी रेट से उसके माध्यम से इंटरेस्ट रेट में थोड़ी बढ़ोतरी होगी, ज्यादा नहीं होगा।
तो कब तक सर ये बढ़ोतरी देख सकते हैं हम?
स्लोली मिलेंगे आपको, फरवरी से लेकर। फरवरी में भी आरबीआई की पॉलिसी रेट्स आना बाकी है, तो तब से लेके आपको स्लोली इंप्रूवमेंट होगा, क्योंकि बॉन्ड रेट्स ऑलरेडी इंक्रीज हुए हैं। अगर आप देखेंगे तो लिक्विडिटी को सक करते समय हमें रिवर्स रेपो में 4% तक आ ही रही है, तो फिर नेचुरली थोड़ा 25-30 बेसिस पॉइंट्स का इंप्रूवमेंट होने की संभावना है इंटरेस्ट रेट्स में।
थैंक यू सर।
The next question is from the line of Mr. Rajesh Yadav from Nav Bharat Times. Please go ahead with the question, sir.
नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार।
मेरा सवाल ये था कि आरबीआई की जो पिछली रिपोर्ट आई थी ट्रेड एंड प्रोग्रेस ऑफ बैंकिंग इन इंडिया, तो उसमें बोला गया था कि बैंकों का जो ग्रॉस एनपीए है वो लास्ट ईयर में घटकर 6.927% रह गया है, लेकिन उसी फर्स्ट 9 मंथ में बैंकों का जो लोन राइट ऑफ हुआ है वो 1.15 लाख करोड़ का है। तो इसका ये मतलब हुआ कि ये बैलेंस शीट में जो ग्रॉस एनपीए है वो कम हुआ है। तो इसमें पीएनबी का एनपीए कितना है और पीएनबी ने लोन राइट ऑफ कितना किया है? तो क्या इसमें दोनों में कोई मतलब एक संबंध है क्या? लोन राइट ऑफ करने के बाद ग्रॉस एनपीए कम हुआ है?
नहीं, देखिए, लोन राइट ऑफ करने का जो प्रक्रिया है ये बैलेंस शीट मैनेजमेंट में एक भाग है। ये कोई अलग से फोकस के तौर पर की नहीं जाती है। उसको रूटीन बेसिस पे जो असेट्स में हम 100% प्रोवाइड करते हैं, उन असेट्स में हम बैलेंस शीट के मैनेजमेंट के अंतर्गत उसको राइट ऑफ करते हैं। स्पेसिफिक फोकस के साथ या ज्यादा राइट ऑफ करना ये उद्देश्य नहीं रहती है। हालांकि आरबीआई का रिपोर्ट आप जो जिक्र कर रहे हो, अगर ये फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी रिपोर्ट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो ग्रॉस एनपीए जो घटकर 6.9 में गया था ओवरऑल कॉर्पोरेट कमर्शियल बैंक्स का, उन्होंने ये थोड़ा अपनी ऑब्जर्वेशंस में कहा था कि थोड़ी लेवल पे इंक्रीज होने की संभावना है, जिसको कोविड का इम्पैक्ट को ध्यान में रखते हुए पर्टिकुलरली जो रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग प्रोफाइल ओवरऑल बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री में है उसमें से अगर कुछ एनपीए में गिरेंगे तो इम्प्रूव हो सकती है। हालांकि अगर आप देखेंगे तो कलेक्शंस की इंप्रूवमेंट बहुत अच्छा हुआ है बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री में, नॉट ओनली इन पीएनबी बट इवन अदर बैंक्स एज वेल। तो इसीलिए अगर आप फिगर के बारे में देखते हो राइट ऑफ की, हम तो डिक्लेयर किए हुए हैं, हमारा प्रेजेंटेशन में मेंशन किया है स्लाइड नंबर 28 में। अगर आप देखेंगे टोटल रिकवरी कम अपग्रेडेशन हमारे पास इंक्लूडिंग जी राइट ऑफ का 8,752 करोड़ है 9 महीने में जो हमने किया हुआ है, और उसको छोड़ के हमारी रिकवरी एंड अपग्रेडेशन जो है 17,593। तो रिकवरी का फिगर, राइट ऑफ का फिगर तो बहुत कम है कंपेयर टू रिकवरी एंड अपग्रेडेशंस। इट इज ओनली वन पार्ट ऑफ द बैलेंस शीट मैनेजमेंट एक्सरसाइज।
अच्छा, बैंकिंग सेक्टर के लिए अभी बजट में क्या आपको क्या लगता है कि गवर्नमेंट से इतना कुछ बेनिफिट मिलने वाला है?
बैंकिंग सेक्टर को खासतौर पर कोई बेनिफिट मिलने की उम्मीद नहीं कर रही या जरूरत भी नहीं है, क्योंकि आप अगर देखेंगे जनरली बजट में कैपिटल के बारे में जिक्र होती है, लेकिन आज की स्थिति आप देखते हो तो पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक में गवर्नमेंट को कैपिटल देने की जरूरत बहुत ही कम है। इक्का दुक्का बैंक को अगर जरूरत होगी तो जरूरत होगी, अदरवाइज सभी बैंक अपने आप में सक्षम है कैपिटल के बारे में। अब बात आती है इकोनॉमी में, जो पिछले बजट में डिक्लेयर किया था इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए अलोकेशन जो की थी पोर्ट सेगमेंट में, एविएशन सेगमेंट में और रोड सेगमेंट में, उन्हीं को कंटिन्यू करते हुए कुछ इम्पीटस या कैटलिस्टिक इन्वॉल्वमेंट, मतलब इनको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में हालांकि कोविड की वजह से थोड़ा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में कम हुई है, उसके ऊपर कंसंट्रेट करने की उम्मीद हम कर रहे हैं। इसके साथ साथ इंडस्ट्री को बढ़ावा मिलने की स्कोप आ रही है। अगर बड़े प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट आती है तो एंसिलरी इंडस्ट्री के तौर पर एमएसएमई को बढ़ावा मिलेगा, जॉब क्रिएशन भी होंगे। इन एरियाज में मुझे लगता है बजट में थोड़ा इम्पीटस या खास तौर पर फोकस क्रिएट होने की संभावना है।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
The next question is from the line of Ms. Gopika Gopakumar from Mint. Please go ahead with your question, ma'am.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Gopika.
Sir, just a question on your fintech collaborations and how much is the income that you are making from these collaborations?
Madam, fintech collaboration has two dimensions. One dimension is from the digitalization perspective. Another dimension is from co-lending perspective. So in co-lending perspective, we have tied up with 4 companies. It is only a starting point and we are looking at a good traction in the days to come. At least in the initial level, in the next 6 months, we are expecting not less than 500 to 1,000 crores from all the 4 tie-ups what we have made in terms of the fintech with co-lending. Fintech for digitalization, we have already started, and digital lending is the one which we have taken forward. Initially, we were little careful in terms of declaring the pre-approved category with the stringency. Now, slowly we are moderating on that, and there as well we are getting good traction, but it is not very substantial at this point of time. The substantial figure accrues only after 6 months of the time.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir.
Anyone who wishes to ask a question may raise a hand by clicking on the raised hand icon on your WebEx panel. The next question is from the line of Ms. Manju AB from the Indian Banking News. Please go ahead with the question, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Madam Manju.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, madam. You can go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you about the performance of your restructured assets.
If you have observed out of the figures what we have given, our restructured book is not very high. In
12,000 crore.
OTR, as per 9th of August RBI guideline, our restructured book stood at 6,700 crores. Similarly, in OTR 2, when it came in May, our book is around 11,000 crores. So totally it is around 19 to 20,000 crores, which is doing well. In terms of the regulatory requirement, we have done the provisioning, and collections have also improved, not only in restructured book, in otherwise. And if you look at even slippage as well, it is less than 1,200 crores out of the OTR 1 book as on today when we look at the slippage. So one is we have not done too much of OTR or restructuring. We were very careful in identifying the accounts to be eligible for restructuring, number one. Number two, the quality of accounts where restructuring has taken place is also good, where collections have improved and units are doing well.
Okay. I didn't understand about the Air India exposure. I mean, it's a recovery from your bonds, or what exactly is it? Air India? 4,000
Air
crore?
India exposure. No, Air India exposure was there, outstanding was there. We had given loan to them, 4,000 crores. And that entire, more than 4,000 crores, 4,900 crores to be precise. 4,000 crores was repaid in December. 900 crores repayment came in this month. So overall, the liability is nullified now.
Okay. Okay. And you said about the recoveries in the next quarter will be 5,000 crore? The next quarter, 5,000 crore?
Current quarter. Yeah, that is the current quarter, Q4. We are expecting a recovery of roughly 1,000 crores from NCLT, around 2,000 crores from non-NCLT, and smaller advances around 2,000 crores.
So any bulky accounts in this, any lumpy accounts that you are expecting some recovery?
No, there are not lumpy accounts. They are all smaller accounts.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
The next question is from the line of Mr. Falaknaz Saeed from Financial Chronicle. Please go ahead with your question, sir.
So what is the plan on unlocking value in your subsidiary?
Madam, we have already come in the public domain from time to time. One is Choice, which is a subsidiary where we have already declared that we would like to exit in terms of our stake of 23%. Exit could happen partially or fully, but it takes time. There are IRDA guidelines, regulatory guidelines, and there are processes to be followed. Ball is kept rolling, and we are expecting things to crystallize during the year 22-23 in terms of that account. Similarly, we also have stake in other, there are a couple of ERCs where we have a stake, smaller stake. We also have a stake in other few companies, including UTI, AMC. So we are looking at that. Everything is under radar, and we have already taken initiative. Majority of them will fructify during the year 22-23.
And so how much will be these stake sales fetch for the bank?
It would be very huge amount because a couple of things are huge. If you look at Choice, it is a huge investment there. The value, embedded value, and in terms of the value what we get would be very huge. So crystallizing at this point of time would be very difficult. Leaving Choice and a couple of other things, the valuations could be, the amount of recovery could be anything around 200 to 300 crores. Plus real estate assets, another 300 to 400 crores. But much more than that will come from the two companies where I'm indicating. That we cannot crystallize the valuation at this point in time. That will be a very huge amount. It all depends upon after finalizing the valuations and finding the suitors.
Thank you.
We may take the last few questions now. I think the question is from the line of Mr. Shailesh Yadav from ANI again. Please go ahead with your question, sir.
मेरा अब कोई सवाल नहीं था, बस मैं आपको भविष्य के लिए बेस्ट शुभकामनाएं देना चाहता था कि आपका अभी तक का हमारा इंटरेक्शन बहुत बढ़िया रहा।
थैंक यू।
और आपसे बात करके हमेशा खुशी ही महसूस हुई हम जैसे जर्नलिस्टों को।
Thank you very much.
If we don't have any more questions, then we may conclude. I would just wait for one more minute for anyone to raise their hand for questions to be asked.
Sir, would you like to share with us what are your next plans after such a successful tenure?
Whatever it is completely personal. If anything comes out, I'll be available in the public domain. So at this point of time, nothing. Just blank in the mind to coolly think.
All the best to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
और सर जाने से पहले अगर एक मुलाकात हो सके तो बहुत बढ़िया सर।
तो कोशिश करेंगे, कोविड की वजह से हम वंचित हैं फिजिकल मीटिंग्स की, बट कोशिश करेंगे। थैंक यू फॉर द रिक्वेस्ट।
Good afternoon. This is Abhijit Lele from Business Standard.
सब बताइए।
International side, we have seen a lot of uptake in the corporate fundraising, but more on the debt side. Is there any traction on the loan book from the Indian companies? That's one. And what is the outlook for that?
In the last 1.5 years, what you say is absolutely right. Because of the investments coming from abroad, our corporate segment has deleveraged their liability towards the banks. Now, even internationally, if you look at the rates are rising. The kind of investments, short term as well as long term, when they come from abroad, they are very sensitive and volatile based on the price which prevails in abroad as well. If the interest rates move up through the Fed in US or in Europe, naturally the incoming investments will go down. Short term nature, long term will anyway continue. So if you want to see for the future, maybe there will be a little amount of improvement in the interest rates across the globe, not only in our country but abroad as well. So some element of maturity will take place or correction will take place in terms of investments. But overall, even as on today, India continues to be a very lucrative destination for the foreign direct investment or foreign institutional investors. As such, this will continue. Good rated companies will continue to deleverage by way of two things. One is raising for debt or even raising through equity.
But how does it really translate for your asset book? One is what you explained is the international atmosphere, but in terms of what it means for your business, that part I wanted to understand.
No, that is asset book related to the country, India you are talking about?
Yes, your PNB's book, how does it really?
Yeah. No, for PNB there won't be any impact. The impact will see if it is only that the exposure to AAA rated companies is at a very high level and they deleverage at a very high level. For example, you are aware regarding Reliance, they have deleveraged. Now because of takeover of Air India by Tata, our outstanding has come down. So other than this, we don't have any impact on our credit. Now coming to economy as such, also there won't be any impact because there is enormous impetus being given by the government for infrastructure development within the country. So if anything happens, it will be an investment in the infrastructure projects which will be coming up. Deleveraging will continue to happen, but it will not have very high impact on either economy or on PNB advances book.
Okay. I wish you all the best for the life beyond January. Hope to stay in touch.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll take the last question now from Ms. Siddhi Nayak from Newsrise one more time.
Sorry, sir. Just one question. So, pardon me if I've missed this. What are your plans on capital raising? You don't foresee any capital raise, is it?
No, if you remember, out of the 6,000 crores of approval we have taken from the board very recently means 6 months back, We have already reserved the entire amount, 2,000 crores through Tier 2 bonds and 4,000 crores through AT1 bonds. That is how our capital adequacy stood at 14.91, which does not include what we have taken in this month of 2,000 crores through AT1 bonds. We have sufficient capital. We don't require any further capital during the year 22-23 for an envisaged credit growth of anything around 8%. However, the bank will review the position in H2 of the next financial year.
Okay. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you.
We now conclude this conference. And on behalf of Punjab National Bank, we thank all participants for their gracious presence. You all are requested to kindly disconnect the call now. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.